Good morning. It's a lovely sunny day in Jerusalem. This is the end, the end of January 2022. 2 days ago it was snowing here. If you watch my video, you can see that everything was covered with snow. But now it's covered with love and sun again. We will enter to an amazing place. Though it's church now, I want to take you to a journey of, let's say, 2,000 years ago. But I want you to figure out that was outside the city. It was a quarry that King Herod used to build the temple, and then he died. The Jews used it for their mission to bury people outside their city, and because it was owned by the government when the Romans controlled the city, they used it for their purpose, and one of them was crucifixion. Then welcome to the Golgotha. I want you to figure out. Just imagine that you actually can see here a small hill, and I want you to imagine that there's now a group of people following a man with a cross on him. This is Jesus. This is the story of Jesus, and I'm dedicating it to. Let me say first hello to one of the salesmen here, because he's a good man. Then that tour is dedicated to a nice couple that I just met, Georgina and Russell Profitt. And their story is amazing because they told me about a miracle that happened to them in Jerusalem. And it's not a surprise for me because remember, Jesus did it so many times here, and it's a land of honey and milk and a land of miracles. Then that Jerusalem cross is dedicated to you, and what makes me happy was to read that at the beginning you will put it in your house, but then your daughter would get it. Then in that case, that cross will bless so many places, so many houses. And although it's made of olive wood, and it's a beautiful one, and you can see the earth of the Holy Land in it, the minute we will travel around the church, and you will hear a beautiful history, a religious story, I will bless it in so many places, then it will be priceless. If you want to have your own cross, just go into the description of that video, look for Buy Me a Coffee link, and you will get the information there. And if you didn't find it, then just write me a message via YouTube and I will send you the link. Then let's start the tour. Then we already know that the church wasn't here. The church is from the 4th century, but what you can see here is mainly from 11th and 12th century, because their church has been destroyed so many times. Another thing which is different than your churches, because the first one is the story. I mean, you might have beautiful churches, but we have the story beneath it. And that church is different because of another reason. If you are a Catholic, then you are going usually to Catholic churches. If you're Greek Orthodox churches. And this one belongs almost to everyone. Then we will find here Ethiopian. And if we are talking about that, this is one of their churches. We will find here Armenians. Look at the Armenian door in front of you. I love the cross, the Armenian cross. It looks like a flower. See the Trinity in each flower. You will find here the Greek Orthodox, Cyrillic Church, so many, except of some of the Protestant that they have a different theory about it, which is a beautiful theory. We know that Jesus was crucified outside the gate. Then today, the church that we are visiting is not only inside the gate, it's actually at the center of the city. You can see a group of tourists. It looks like tourists. Yay! I heard that there are a few groups here. Yeah, they are total tourists, no Israelis. For the first time in the almost last 2 years, I had two women tour. I might have 2 tourists from America, but that's question mark because I 2 months ago I thought that I would have a tour, but they couldn't reach Israel. Then here it is. We will enter to the church now. Then what you see here is the facade from the 12th century, in 11th and 12th century. I've been asked why the door is closed here. Then actually the question is supposed to be why the 2 doors are closed. There's one entrance here, and there's another entrance there. You can see the stairs that goes all the way up into the church. And why it's actually closed. When the Muslims control the city after the Crusade time, they decided to close all the gates of the church. There's another one around it, around the corner, and they controlled the people that enter and went out of the church, and they charged them. Then until today, as you can see, there's only one entrance and exit. And remember that door, because I will talk about it when we'll be on top of the Golgotha. Then let's enter in. And what you can see here is a lot of graffitis. About the church, I need 10 hours to talk about church, but the most important graffiti is actually the upper one, which is from 1389. It is. I'm sure that he got a ladder to enter. To write it up. But if you're talking about a ladder, see, so many things to talk about. Look at the beautiful doors. Let's talk about another one. Then let's go backward. Actually, I'm talking 8 minutes about the church, out of the church. But I'm sure that Russell, Georgina, Profitt, you will understand it. Look at the second floor. There is another ladder there. See it at the right window? Why it's there? And if you've been here with me 10 years ago, 20 years ago as well, you could see it too. Then why? Remember that church belongs to everyone? Because it's the most important church in the world, everyone wants the best places for themselves. Then in that case, when the Armenian, which owns the 2 chapels there, wanted to clean their windows from the outside, they took the ladder and then outside, and then the Greek Orthodox came to them and say, hey, who told you that the facade of the church is yours? The facade of the church belongs to everyone. Then it didn't matter. It was a problem. That until they figure out who owns it, it will be like that. Then if we are talking about that yard, you can, the Greek Orthodox can clean it, only the Greek Orthodox. But you see those 2 beautiful men, their legs are touching one of the stairs to climb up to the Franks chapel, the Catholic chapel. Then Who owns that stair? Because it looks like part of the plaza or part of the chapel. Then at the end, they realized that the Catholic can clean it once a day and the rest by the Greek Orthodox. This is part of the status quo, 19th century. Then we are climbing and we are entering in and climbing up to the Golgotha. Then welcome to the church itself. The new virus, Omicron, the situation in Israel was very bad, but that's because we are checking a lot of our citizens. Then we discover a lot, but now the situation is getting better. We're climbing the Golgotha. That used to be part of the door that the Muslims actually sealed, and later on the Greek Orthodox built another part of the plaza that we are going to climb up. And some ask me, where are the tombs of the Crusader kings that used to be here? And yes, they've been buried in their church. Some was there, more was there, and it was built. The Greek Orthodox built a wall above them. Today it's a little bit crowded. It's Sunday. This is the door that I told you about, the entrance and other entrance. It doesn't look like a door. Look at the handle. If you remove that, and you will see the rest of the door. That's where they strip him from his clothes. If you're Catholic, it's part of the Via Dolorosa stations. And right here, you can see the crucifixion place. But before that, nailing to the cross. And in between, you see Mary with the spear in her heart. This is the Pietà. And in that case, that part belongs to the Catholic. Look how beautiful is the mosaic, but mostly it's new, because that church been burned down in 1808. Then most of the mosaic is new, but that part is old. This is a Crusader mosaic. Beautiful, isn't it? Of the Ascension. Now, what is the meaning of the Ascension here? I mean, this is the Church of the Resurrection. We believe that it actually gives you the next chapter. You will resurrect, and then you will ascend into heaven. Then the ascension is near you. Look how beautifully is the beautifully said, of course, the crucifixion, the nailing to the cross. You can see an altar from the Medici family, and look at the face of the mother and Jesus. Look at Mary Magdalene anointing the body of Jesus. And Georgina, I bought you the mirror as well. Then he will get it as well. the cabin there, you will see Mary with a spear in her heart. Mary holding the dead body of her son. Now, why it's there? Because first he must be crucified. Because those two belongs to the Catholic. Those two chapels. The crucifixion belongs to the Greek Orthodox. And it's a totally different story. But first, let me show you the two Catholic chapel. And I'm not talking there because there are some people who pray and I don't want to disturb them. It's a church and I want to respect them. Most of them, as I say, are foreigner workers that works in Israel, and for them Sunday is a holiday. But for the Jews, Sunday it's a regular day, the first day of the week. Then you will see the spear in the heart of Mary. When she was at the temple, Saint Simon told her, "Your son will die in front of your eyes. It will be like a spear will enter your heart." And you can understand the agony of the mother. And that's why I look for it in the art. Mary was smiling only when Jesus was born. She didn't smile from the presentation at the temple, because she knew that her son will die in front of her eyes. And if you are parents, and I know that Russell and Georgina, you are parents, then you can understand Mary. Then let's look at it and we'll talk about the rest soon. Look at the scene. Salvus Mundi. Beautiful mosaic that actually tells you everything that connected to Jesus from the Old Testament, which is there, until the new one, till the end. That is where Mary was. I don't know if she stood here, but she was very close to here. She saw that crucifixion. Look at her eyes. And look at the spear. It's a present from the Spanish. And now we enter into the Greek Orthodox. You can see the Calvary, the Golgotha hill, covered with a stone against people like me that wants to get some souvenirs. And Jesus is in the middle. Above him is the sinless to this Jesus from Nazareth, King of the Jews. Yeshua Natsari Melech HaYudim in Hebrew. John the disciple is right here. Always described without a beard because it was a little guy. And the mother is on the other side. While Jesus was on the cross, he asked John to take care of his mother. In that case, you can see the story. The Bible has come. I mean, it's alive now. There's a group of Israelis there standing now in front and well, not all of them are Jews. Let me go into the most important part in that area. This is the crucifixion spot. Let me use the flashlight that we will see it. And look at the bedstone, bedrock. I'm touching it for you, and I'm touching the cross for you as well, Georgina and Russell. Totally different language. Describe the last hours, the last day of Jesus in Jerusalem. Let's leave the Golgotha now. And Georgina, we're heading to the tomb, but I won't be able to take a video into the tomb. Then at the end of the video, I will go in and bless it there, of course. You see a beautiful mosaic wall. We just came from the Golgotha. We will continue to the tomb, which is there, but in the middle, you can see another amazing story that happened. Joseph of Arimathea, which you can see him just next to Mary, asked Pontius Pilate he wanted to get the body of Jesus, and he got it. Then you can understand that Joseph of Arimathea had a connection between Pontius Pilate. He had power, and we know that he was a believer of Jesus, but we know that he was afraid to talk about it because he was a Jew. And you can see him here together with Nicodemus, and they gave Jesus their own tomb that no one used before. And we know, according to the book of John, that the tomb of Jesus was at the same place, next to the crucifixion place, which is right here, the Golgotha, in the area of King Herod's quarry, and now later on the Romans. He had a garden, which is there. Then, as a Jew, they had to purify the body of Jesus, and Joseph of Arimathea wanted to get the body immediately, because usually you have to bury the dead at the same day. Then if he was buried on Friday, and let's say 3 o'clock, he died around 3 o'clock, then he had to bury him before sunset, before, let's say, 7 p.m., 1900 hours. Then they purified his body, and then they put a shroud around him, linen, and bury him in a cave. That's how rich Jews used to be buried at that time. The stone next to you, which you can see that it's a little bit shiny. That stone is the anointing table. And let me put the cross that are of yours, Georgina and Russell. And let me anoint it. For me, this stone is so important because that's where the naked body of Jesus touched. Then, for me, it's to bless the cross here is a little bit more important than the tomb himself, because the tomb is closed. His body was there for 3 days. But the energy of that stone is huge. Now, let's look for the cave. Until we will reach the cave, if you didn't subscribe yet, this is the time, and I'll ask you to do one more thing. First of all, if you do have some questions, please don't hesitate. In the description, you'll find more information how to reach me. And secondly, share that videos. I want that videos to reach every Christian in the world. We are going through the Armenian chapel. That's where the three Marys actually looked at the crucifixion, according to the Armenians, and that's where I'm going to light some candles later on from the Holy Fire, which is there. The Holy Fire is an amazing story of the Armenian and the Greek Orthodox. And part of my mission is to do that for you as well. If you wanted to do that, no problem. Go to my Buy Me a Coffee link and you will have all the information how to light a candle for you. In both places, if you did something that you want me to say, including Georgina, thank you for the information, because you've been cured here, then in that case, write it down, then I can add it to the story if you want, and I will know exactly what to do with it. Then this is the tomb, this is the cave. What? It's not a cave. Well, you're right, it's not a cave. But it used to be. Just like that church been destroyed so many times, that cave been destroyed too, because it symbolized the Christians. The Persians did it, the Romans did it, the Muslims did it. Then it's been destroyed with this. The structure that you see here is from the 19th century, but it's been renovated lately. The tomb belongs to the Greek Orthodox, but everyone can go in, and others, like Catholic and other denomination of Christianity, they had special hours that they can use it as well. Now, because there's a queue now of the Israeli group, I will enter to another tomb, which is usually empty, and then I will stand outside the tomb to show you what you can see in it. Remember, I cannot go in with my camera. It happens once in 10 times that they actually allow me to do that.
Father and sisters.
However long you want.
I'm entering to here mainly because it's a special place for me. It doesn't look like the most important church in the world, considered the situation of it. You can see that it was burned down. You can see the ash all around. And this is not a chair, it's an altar that was burned down as well. And I entered to you because of it. Now, the situation in the room is a problem. It's another one of those problems, mainly because they still argue who owns that room. Remember, that church belongs to everyone. And what that lady is looking at is actually at a tomb from Jesus' time. Then what I'm going to show you, I'm going to use the flashlight, and again I will say thank you to the one who just told me that there is a flashlight that I can use while I'm videoing. And look at the niches there. That used to be a cave, a burial cave. And if you ask me how Jesus, what kind of caves Jesus was buried, it was something like that. There are, let's say, something like 5 niches like that, and they buried the body in those niches. And let's say if there are 5 niches here, then what will happen to the 6th one? The sixth one will have to wait. Now he want. They would take out the bones from the first niches, the oldest one. They will put it in a small box by the name ossuary, and they will bury the dead, the new one who died, there. What you're looking at is one of the few evidence from the 4th century church, St. Helen and Constantine. Amazing, isn't it? It used to be covered with marble. You can still see the holes that used to hold those. Here you can see it. There's marble, but it's been robbed by the Persian. They took everything that was here. Now here you can see that it was decorated a lot. See the holes all over? It means that that cave was so important. Now we know that it's not Jesus' tomb. Jesus' tomb just came from there. Then how come? If that was the garden of Jesus of Arimathea, and Joseph of Arimathea, and Joseph gave Jesus his own tomb that no one used before, we believe that he built him another one just next to the master tomb and in his own garden. In that case, it might be Joseph of Arimathea and Actaminus' tomb. But it shows you that it used to be a cemetery area at the time of Jesus, and Jews have been buried outside the city, then it was outside the city. Let's go back to his tomb, and let's hope that it won't be so crowded. It's not crowded, but don't want you to wait. The tomb is divided into two. The first chapel is the Untitled chapel who took care that no one will steal the body of Christ. The inner part is the tomb itself. In the first chapel you will see the candle from the light from the holy fire. And the inner one, the tomb itself, is at the other side. Alright, it's still a little bit busy, but you can see the light. That's the first chapel. And the inner part, you see someone's moving, someone's going out from the tomb himself. Now, Russell, Georgina, we will say goodbye now. And your daughter, which I don't know her name. I'm so happy to read about the miracles that happened to you. And I'm going to bless the cross right now inside the tomb. See you, and please share that video and subscribe my channel. Bye bye.